What's going on, y'all? So I'm gonna give you 9 tips on something you should do when you trade your car in for a new car or buying a new or used car, right? One or two of these things might not really seem like it's gonna be something to do because really not a whole lot of people do them, but I'll kind of mention that as we get along. First off, wash your goddamn cars and vacuum them, because some of y'all nasty ratchet people that have traded some of your cars into the dealership I work at, like, y'all are some nasty people, dude. Some people out there are just absolute hood ratchet. I mean, beyond ratchet, dude. It costs you $10 at the car wash to go get your car washed. The vacuum's free and they have trash cans. Throw away your trash and vacuum your shit and wash the damn thing. And they have rags there. You can wipe everything down on the outside, wipe it all down on the inside. For the love of God, people, clean your shit. If you want to live and drive with a nasty fucking car, that's your business. But god dang it, the rest of us don't want to be driving and smelling your stank when you traded the cars in. Period. It's nasty. Do it. Second off, if your tires are like racing slicks or dry rod, I understand. Sometimes life is hard and I get it. You can go places that, like, Walmart has tires for like $50 a piece, starting out $45-50 a piece. For less than $500 you can have brand new tires installed on your car if they're that jacked up. If your car had hubcaps on it at one point and it doesn't have hubcaps on it now, or one's missing, or they're all kind of discolored, they're cracked, broken, whatever, go to your local auto parts store, O'Reilly's, Napa, AutoZone, whatever. Just get some cheap freaking hubcaps for that car, and get some cheap like floor mats, maybe a cheap steering wheel cover. You're talking like maybe $100 for the hubcaps, steering wheel cover, floor mats, whatever. $100 is not gonna, whatever. And if your car did have hubcaps or does have hubcaps and they're missing some, or they're all, and you look at the stock wheels and they're like rust brown or whatever, pick up like 4 cans of spray paint, black spray paint. They're cheap. They're like $5. Take each wheel off one at a time and take a can of black spray paint and spray paint those wheels black to clean them up a little bit. Then put them back on the car after they're dried and put the hubcaps on. Seriously, $20 in spray, like $125 for putting floor mats, hubcaps, steering wheel cover, air fresheners, and whatever. It goes a long way, especially with cleaning the car and vacuuming everything and wiping everything down, right? So that's the second thing. Cheap tires from Walmart are better than nothing. Hubcaps, floor mats, steering wheel cover. Paint your wheels black if they're, you know what I'm saying? It's not that bad. It's cheap, and you're probably thinking, with all these things I've already told you, I'm about to tell you, you're like, well, why not just spend the money, take that money and use that as a down payment on top of your car? You're right. You can do that. Just know that you're not going to be getting shit for your car at the end of the day. These are all just things you can do and should be doing just for yourself, so you can be driving a halfway decent car and not having your car look like absolute ass and like a pile of trash. And it also helps you when you do trade the car in later on down the road. Third thing, don't be afraid to trade your car in with a full tank of gas, because you're going to be getting a full tank of gas from the dealership anyhow. You know, they fill up the cars with gas anyhow, or give you a gas card or whatever to go fill it up. Believe me, you're not losing the 40, 50, 60, 100 bucks that you're for gas. It's ridiculous, because it's the worst thing to get a car in that is almost out of gas, and mechanics have to ask somebody, like, you know, who can go use the gas pump at the dealership or drive it over to the gas station and go fill it up with gas. Don't be afraid to give your car with a full tank of gas, at least over half a tank, at least. Come on. Like, you're getting a full tank of gas with the car when you buy a car anyhow. Fourth, you know, this is kind of like whatever, but get your car maintenance. Get the oil change, air filter, you know, whatever. You know, you can do that for hella cheap at like Midas or something for like 30 bucks, or I know there's places around you that will do cheap oil filter change or oil changes and cheap maintenance stuff, you know, because whatever, you know, just get your shit changed, keep the paperwork and stuff in the car, whatever. Fifth, if you haven't already been doing it, this is one of those things I said at the beginning of the video. Keep all your maintenance records for your car in a 3-ring binder. You know, every time you get your oil change, every time you buy tires, brakes, whatever, and they give you one of these big pieces of paper like this with a receipt stapled to it. Take one of those 3-hole punch things and whatever, and put it in a 3-ring binder, right? And go the oldest up front to the newest record in the back. Believe me, I do that with every vehicle I've ever had. Every time I get something done, hole punch it, put the most current or the last thing in the back of so it goes from oldest to newest, right? I know it's kind of a pain in the ass, but when you get into a newer vehicle, or you're planning on staying in the vehicle that you're in now, start doing it. It's only, even if the dealership doesn't want it, leave it in the car. Just force it to them so that way they see that you have records of the car. If you have light bulbs, any light bulbs, headlights, taillights, turn signals, reverse lights, running lights, whatever, fog lights, if one light bulb's burned out, replace all of them. Because the mistake is, people sometimes think that, okay, I'm just going to replace this one bulb. Well, after putting that new bulb in there, some of the other ones are going to blow out because they're old, and you got a new bulb sucking in more electricity than the old ones. So it's going to blow other light bulbs. Just replace all your light bulbs. If you have one that's burned out, they're all going to end up burning out. Again, light bulbs are cheap, except the ones that I bought. They're not. Seventh thing, do not have a check engine light on or any kind of lights on. And if your car's got body damage, like an excessive amount of body damage, really nothing you can really do about it, but whatever. Just don't have check engine light. That is the quickest way for your $15,000 trade-in to go down to about $3,000 real quick, right? And I already said you can get all, like, everything that you need to do at like O'Reilly's, AutoZone, whatever. The last thing you really need to know is it doesn't matter how much money you have spent on aftermarket parts and whatever. This is just something I'm telling you. aftermarket parts, then it doesn't matter how much money you spent on the car, how much work you've done on the car, doesn't matter what the car aftermarket parts it has. That only matters when you're selling the vehicle to a private party. Like my truck, for example. Just because I've spent an undisclosed amount of money on my truck, I will not ever get that money back out of my truck, whether it's from a private party or from any dealership around the world ever. Because my truck's already 12 years old. It's almost gonna hit 131,000 miles in the next day or two. It's a 3.7 V6. It's a two-wheel drive. It's an XL. So they basically base what they're gonna give you off of what the make, model, and submodel is of your vehicle and how many miles and the condition it's in. So if you have a 2010, or like my truck's a 2012 F-150 XL, 131,000 miles. Condition is fair in their eyes. If you took a 2012 F-150 Lariat or higher end 2012 F-150 that has 50,000 miles on it or less, let's just say under 75,000 miles, pristine, right? Clean, and it's clean, no, not a single dent, not a single ding, not a single scratch. Windows aren't all pitted, the lights aren't all pitted, and the whole thing's just nice. Well, they're gonna give the dude with the 2012 Lariat F-150 that has less than $75,000 more than they would give for me for my 2012 F-150 with 131,000 miles, where the body condition is fair and with all my aftermarket parts. Because the aftermarket parts don't dictate the whole deal, you know what I mean? That's just the thing. People don't, 99% of the cars out there are not modified. So the market based itself off of the 99% of the cars, not the 1% that are modified. You know, now modified cars have their worth in different spots and communities, whatever. My truck might bring me $5,000 from a dealership. I might get $7,000 for it from a private party, maybe, right? But I'm not in the market of selling it, so I don't really care what it's worth. It's worth more to me to keep it because I like it and I want to keep it. And I've done more shit. I've gone on more trips in my truck that I have now in 2.5 years than I have in my last truck that I owned for 10 years. Go figure, right? And I got a lot more coming with that truck, and I can't wait. So those are just some tips. I'll leave you guys on that, and do with it what you will. Yeah.